Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the special meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council. Today is May the 11th, 2023. It is right now 5:15 p.m. Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Dave Abdallah,
Here.
Hassan Ahmad, absent. Mo Beydoun,
Here.
Nancy Breyer, is absent. Robert Constant, is absent. Ray Muscat,
Here.
Tom Wenzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
Here.
Next up is our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our Corporation Counsel, Roger Farina.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Roger. Next up, agenda approval.
Council Chair,
Councilman.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda of the special meeting of May 11th, 2023 as submitted.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Beydoun and supported by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion on that?
Council Chair.
Okay, go ahead. Mo.
Okay, go
No,
ahead.
no.
No, okay.
No.
Okay, I'm questioning, this should be a closed session or an open session. I'm not sure if this qualifies for a closed session under the, Open Meetings Act. It's under personnel. And are we considering a dismissal or suspension or disciplining of a personnel person?
Okay, so we can't say the specific thing, obviously, and I myself personally am not aware of the specific thing that this meeting is about. But I can tell you when I seen that was in regards to personnel, which is what the administration asked for, I ran it by the clerk, and then me and Clerk Senior had a discussion about this. And then we both agreed, let's just run it by our corporation counsel, just to be 100% sure that this meets the legal criteria for a closed session. We did. Corporation counsel Roger Farina looked into it and approved the closed session as in meeting the guidelines.
Okay, because there's only considering dismissal or suspension or disciplining is one criteria. And the other one would be, that's the only one under personnel. There's 6 criteria you have to meet. You have a closed session, so it must be considered dismissal, suspension, or discipline. Otherwise, this meeting should be held in open meeting.
Okay, so I can't comment on the specifics of the meeting. Administration is more aware of that because it's a closed session for them. They're the ones that are doing the presenting. But Roger can probably better answer that if you'd like. Wait, if you don't mind, microphone, Roger.
One thing we would look at also, and I understand compensation and salaries are open and not for closed session, but personnel would include not just existing, but also proposed salaries, different strategy and compensation. We have contract negotiations coming up with at least 3 unions. And I think it may involve potential and proposed salaries that may affect our contract negotiations with monies that are available. So I think that how that part of it would be included in a closed session.
Council Chair, it should be on the agenda what we're talking about, because things on the agenda are the only things that we can discuss at a closed session. And this is too broad. Under what is being said, anything could be talked about, basically. I agree with that.
Yeah, I do see your point, and that's precisely why, after being told it's personnel, it brought up, I don't want to say red flags, but it just brought up my thought process. Like, I don't know if this is completely okay. And like I said, we ran it by the clerk, and then even the clerk wasn't 100% sure that this would be okay. So we said, you know what, let's go ahead and go into legal. And that's who gave us the final okay on that.
And you, of course, in a closed session, you could decide, after you hear what everything's being decided, no, this is not appropriate for a closed session. You can decide it at that point.
Then we'd bring it out to the open meeting.
If you decide,
here.
if you
Discuss it
decide
in
it's not
public.
appropriate.
I mean, one that best knows what's going to be presented is administration, obviously. I honestly and truly don't know, and not that I would have to be privy to that. I wouldn't. I just set the meeting.
Council Chair,
Councilman?
I just, only thing I do agree with him on is that this is very vague. And so we don't know what we're discussing in the closed session here. And neither does the public. So when we see personnel, like, what does that mean?
And I see that point, like I said, and that's why I brought up the question for me.
But I'm okay to go into closed session. If I feel like it's something that needs to be talked on in the public, we can come back.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is public hearings and comment on agenda items only. Anybody in the audience that would like to comment? Okay. Next up is on Zoom. Anybody on Zoom that would like to comment?
We didn't vote on it? We didn't vote on the agenda, did we?
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'm sorry. Right, because we went into a discussion on that. All in favor of the agenda approval, state aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Dave Abdallah?
Yes.
Hassan Ahmad is absent. Moby Dun?
Yes.
Ray Muscat?
Yes.
And Tom Wenzel?
No.
Motion carries 3-1.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Next up again, public hearings and comment on agenda items. Anybody on Zoom that has a public comment? Okay, hearing none. Next up is members of the public comments from council members. Yes, Councilman.
Make it aware that Councilwoman Nancy Breyer just arrived.
Okay. Any comments from council members? Hearing none. Any announcements from administration? Hearing none. Any public comments from the audience? None. And any public comments on Zoom? None. At this point, we're going to go ahead and go into a closed session. Before the motion is made, I just want to say to those in the audience and those in, here in person, we more than likely will be about 30 to 45 minutes max. I'm hoping within 30 minutes. But with that being the case, it's up to you. You want to hang around, not hang around, I'm not sure. At the end of it, we will come back and make a general decision, consensus or non-consensus, as far as what the closed session would be about, if we have a vote. It is not always a vote, but if we have a vote. And we'll go from there. Okay, so at this point, go ahead, Councilman.
Let it be aware that there's going to be a meeting in this room.
Right.
At 6 o'clock. And
Correct.
from my understanding, our parliamentarian Coco said that we could actually approve this after the next meeting.
At
Am
the
I
next,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Right, but at the same time, we got to go back into an open session after the closed session, and that would be
We can
here.
go into open session at the next meeting.
There's a meeting after this?
So we
Next week.
So you're okay with this continuing as a closed session? All we pass multiple days and come back and,
Yes, Mariana? Mariana?
are you understanding, Madam Clerk? That's going to be okay?
We're gonna do it exit the closed session at the next meeting.
You can close you can vote on closing the closed session when you reconvene next Tuesday. That is an option that our parliamentarian has provided to
But the
us.
issue is going back into an open session so that we could finish off the meeting.
So you can go into an open session on Tuesday and
That'd be
close
fine?
the session.
We both spoke with,
Well, if we finish it. I don't know.
That is, we have a letter opinion from the
I
parliamentarian.
understand that, and guess what, this,
I
I
have
feel
like.
comfortable closing this closed session.
It is council chambers.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead, make the motion.
Council Chair, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council move to a closed session at 5:26 PM so the city council may discuss personnel, which may include Mayor Bazey, Chief of Staff Hernandez, Controller King, Corporation Counsel Farina, and Human Resources Director Hazard, as outlined in 15A.
Support.
No, 1 second. Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Dave Abdallah?
Yes.
Hassan Ahmad is absent. Moby Dun?
Yes.
Nancy Breyer?
Here?
Yes?
Yes.
Robert Constance absent. Ray Muscat?
Yes.
And Tom Wenzel?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. So at this point, we'll go ahead and go into a closed session and come right back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back right now. It's 7:32 PM. Councilman?
I'd like that the Dearborn Heights City Council return to an open session at 7:32 PM.
Support.
Okay, motion to return to an open session by Councilman Baidoon, seconded by Councilman Muscat. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
Council Chair,
Councilman?
motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion adjourned by Councilman Muscat, seconded by Councilman Baydoun. All in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Thank you very much, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.